Good morning, class. Still in Chapter 5. Chapter 5, write equations of parallel and perpendicular lines. So we kind of talked about parallel lines before, and we know that when two lines are parallel, they have the same slope. So their m's are equal. Okay, so if we have line 1 and line 2, we know that their lines are equal, their m's are equal. They're parallel lines. Different b, so different y-intercept, different starting point, but their m's are equal, their slope. And what you'll find out about perpendicular lines is that if the slope of one line is 2, we know the line that is perpendicular to that must have a slope of -1/2. It's the negative reciprocal that will give it the perpendicular lines that make 90-degree angles. So we'll talk about that today. So parallel lines and perpendicular lines. So I kind of just mentioned this, but if two non-vertical lines in the same plane have the same slope, okay, then they are parallel. So if they have the same slope, okay, they are parallel. Kind of in parentheses, you might want to put, different b. Okay, same slope, different b, different y-intercept, but their m's are the same. Now, two lines in the same plane are perpendicular if they intersect to form a right angle. So two lines that cross each other, obviously here we know these are right angles right here. 90-degree angles are created because when they cross these two lines, the x and y axis, when they cross each other, we are automatically given 90-degree angles. So those lines are perpendicular. Okay, but we know that if they, let's say one line went like this, and one line went like this, obviously, okay, they have to create 90-degree angles to be perpendicular. And how do we know it's a 90-degree angle? Because in the same plane, okay, the slopes that are negative reciprocals, okay, then the lines are perpendicular. So one slope must be a positive, obviously, and one slope must be a negative because it's a negative reciprocal. So we'll work on that. So let's work on parallel lines first. Write an equation of the line that passes through -3 and -5 and is parallel to the line of y equals 3x minus 1. Well, remember, we know if two lines are parallel if they have the same slope. Okay, so we're trying to find the equation of the line that passes through this point. Well, if these two lines are parallel, then this point must have a slope of 3 as well. Okay, so that it's parallel to y equals 3x minus 1. So we're going to use, and you have to write this in slope-intercept form. So we're going to use the equation that we're used to using. Okay, because I need to find my b. I don't know my b for this equation right here for this point of the line that passes through that point. So I use -3 as my x and -5 as my y, and I plugged in the same slope because I know that they're parallel. So now I'm going to solve for b, so -5 equals -9 plus b. Add 9 over, we know that b equals 4. So now I have to rewrite this equation. So I know that y equals 3x plus 4. I know that this line right here is parallel to this line. They have the same slope, and then I found its b and they're different. So I know those two lines are parallel. So this is kind of like we've worked on, kind of the same work that we've worked on here. You're given the point and we know it's parallel, so we can use the slope that's given from that opposite line. Okay? So perpendicular. So are these two lines here perpendicular lines? Well, remember, the rule is that they must have a negative reciprocal. So what we're going to do for each of these first is to solve to get y equals mx plus b. So step 1, solve it into y equals mx plus b. So we're going to add x over. So we know that 3y equals x plus 1. divide by 3. I'm dividing everything by 3. So y equals 1/3 x plus 1/3. So even before I start solving 2x minus 6y equals 4, what are we hoping for to make sure we have perpendicular lines? Because remember, our m here is 1/3. So what are we hoping for on this side of things? Remember, it's the negative reciprocal. So what is the negative reciprocal of 1/3? So the negative reciprocal of that is -3/1. Okay, so we're hoping that this line has a slope of -3/1. And if it doesn't, then they're not perpendicular lines. So we're going to subtract 2x over. So we get -6y equals -2x plus 4 divided by -6. We know that this is y equals 1/3 x minus 2/3. I reduced 4/6. So is this line perpendicular to that line? And we would say no. They are parallel because 1/3 and 1/3, but they are not perpendicular because we did not get -3/1. Okay, because you need the negative reciprocal for two lines to be perpendicular. So perpendicular lines, write an equation of a line that passes through 4, -5 and is perpendicular to the line y equals 2x plus 3. So perpendicular to y equals 2x plus 3. So let's say we graph this. We'd start at the y-intercept, which is 3, and go up 2/1. Okay, so we know this line is going in this direction. Okay, so we're trying to find the other line that is going in this direction right here that will make 90-degree angles, and that is perpendicular. Maybe not at that exact point, but so what we're going to do is kind of similar to what we did for parallel lines, but we don't want to use this slope, 2. We need to find the negative reciprocal of 2. So if we have 2, the negative reciprocal of that is -1/2. So now we're going to use -1/2 in the formula that we've done before. So -5 equals -1/2 times 4 plus b. So -5 equals -2 plus b. Add 2 over. b equals -3. So to rewrite the equation of a line that is perpendicular to y equals 2x plus 3, that line would be y equals -1/2 x minus 3. Okay, so these lines are perpendicular now, and I know because these are negative reciprocals of each other. So determine which lines, if any, are parallel or perpendicular. So first step is to get each of these into y equals mx plus b form. So step 1, y equals mx plus b. Get into this form. So this one is already done for us. So let's subtract 2x here. So 6y equals -2x minus 3. Divide by 6. Y equals -1/3 x minus 1/2. Okay, so there's that line. We have this line right here, and now this line. So we subtract 5.4x. Cross these out. Subtract 4.5x. So we know that -1.5y equals -4.5x plus 6. divide by negative 1.5. We know that y equals 3x minus okay, so determine which lines are parallel or perpendicular. So parallel, we know that they must have the same slope. So which two have the same slope? Well, this one has a 3 and a 3, so we know that B and C are parallel. And then our slope is a negative 1/3 over here, so that is the negative reciprocal of 3. So we know that perpendicular. We know that A and B are perpendicular, and A and C are perpendicular. Okay? So it's very important that you understand parallel lines, same slope, different B, perpendicular lines, negative reciprocal slope. Negative reciprocal. Okay? So, if you have any questions, let me know. That is the end of this PowerPoint. You'll get started right on your homework now. So, I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day, and I will talk to you later.